Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I'm back not with the deck list, but actually to follow up on one of the better ideas that have been suggested to me, and that is to expand the How to Play series just a little bit to start including terms. Because again, if you guys played in like the '06 time period, the '02 to like '06, there are card types that you're probably going to hear the terminology for and not readily know or maybe understand. It's fine. We're here. We got you. We're going to help you out. And today we are going to start with hand traps. Now, what are hand traps? Well, essentially, a hand trap is just any card that you're going to be able to activate in your hand. That is going to have an effect similar to that of a very good trap card. We're going to use these in response to things, and essentially there's something to look out for. So what are the most common ones? Well, honestly, like Ash Blossom, Nibiru, you'll even see like Effect Veiler. These guys are all hand traps. Their effects all activate in the hand, and these are all going to do something. But when did we first get our hand traps? What was the first hand trap? Real quick, guys, maybe pause the video, go down to the comments section, and let me know if you guys know what the first hand trap is. Take a guess. I'll give you a second. Okay, you should have paused it. And if you said Karibo, you are correct. Karibo was actually our first hand trap. We got this back in Metal Raiders. I believe that was in '02. That was like year one. And again, it was one of those things that, you know, it kind of went overshadowed for a long time. So what did Karibo do? It's during the opponent's turn at damage calculation, you can discard this card to take no battle damage from a battle that, from the single battle. So if you took a direct attack, you just drop Karibo and you don't take any damage. If your monster got outclassed, let's say you had Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon attacked it, you're still going to lose the Dark Magician, but if you drop the Karibo, you don't lose your last 500 life points. So Karibo was our first hand trap. And the other two that came out relatively quickly would be, it should have been Honest. Again, activating during the damage step and allowing your light attribute monster that's in battle with a monster to gain the attack power of the opposing monster. So Honest is a hand trap of sorts. And then Black Wings would get one. I think it was Crossroads of Chaos, and that would have been Kalut the Moon Shadow. I didn't borrow my wife's Kalut, and I didn't pull out my Honest before this video, so please, I do apologize for that. But those were like the first three hand traps. Again, we wouldn't really see hand traps really making any waves until we got cards like Effect Veiler. And this guy says that during the opponent's main phase one, or sorry, not main phase one, but just any one of their main phases, you can send this card from the hand to the graveyard, target an effect monster the opponent controls, negate the effects of that face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. So like this was really good because again, if the card has just one effect immediately, that's fine. We don't have to worry about the effect that we're trying to stop. But if it had a secondary effect as well, we do not have to worry about that effect either this turn. So again, Effect Veiler had some very good redeeming quality to it. And then its first print was I want to say a Duelist pack for Yusei. And it was pretty cool. Some of the more current ones that you're going to see are going to be like the Trap Sisters like Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. They're generally, I think they're all tuners, or the most of them are tuners. When a card or effect is activated, it includes any of the following effects. Quick effect, you can discard this card, negate that effect. And those effects are adding a card from the deck to the hand, special summoning from the deck, or sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. And again, this is going to be something that most hand traps are going to say, is that you discard and then activate. So a lot of these activate in the discard pile. One good example of that not being the correct case is actually Nibiru. During the main phase, if your opponent normal summoned or special summoned 5 or more monsters this turn, and I like that it doesn't say instances, it says monsters. So again, if your opponent does a pendulum summon, that could put that number up quicker. Quick effect, you contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible, and if you do special summon this from your hand, then special summon one primal being token, question mark to the opponent's field. the token's attack and defense become the combined original attack and defense of all the attributed monsters put together. You can only use this effect once per turn. And again, that's kind of cool. But this one's not going to go to the discard pile when it's used. So that's a very big distinction to make. Another couple of good ones, like the Psy-Frame Gamma, is actually really cool. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by a card effect, and then when the opponent activates a monster effect while you control no monsters, and again, one good instance is you're playing a spell, you're trying to search something, your opponent drops Ash Blossom trying to stop this, then you'd activate this, which says you can special summon both this from your hand and one Psy-Frame Driver, looks a little something like that, from either the hand, deck, or graveyard. So this guy can come from anywhere. This guy has to be in your hand. And then if you do negate the activation and destroy that monster, during the end phase, banish the face-up monsters special summoned by this effect. So again, since in this instance we would be doing this during our own turn because we did not yet control any monsters, we were just trying to start a cycle of tutoring, we would actually be able to set up a tuner worth 2 stars and a non-tuner at 6, and the non-tuner can be cycled just back again and again. So like a proper ratio would be playing 3 gammas, single driver, and just being able to just cycle the driver around until it gets banished, which is fine. But again, this could set up some good synchro plays. This could allow you to play some cool cards like, I don't know, Stardust Dragon, or Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, or Borreload Savage Dragon. I almost called it Boral Savage. You guys would have understood what I meant. But yeah, so this sets you up. And again, you can just link these too. That's a quick link too as well. So that's pretty premium. Not all of our hand traps are just like quick effect monsters and stuff. One of my new favorites was actually the Raging Storm Dragon Beaufort the Ninth. You can ritual summon this with Bracket of Acclamation, blah, 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 blah. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can discard this card, negate the attack, and if you do negate that monster's effects, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, return both this and that to the hand. So it does have a fielded effect if you are playing it. However, if you're going to get hit with that direct attack, you can negate that and negate the monster's effects, and it does not stay till the end of the turn. So Beaufort the Ninth, kind of cool, but very situational. So I don't think this one's going to take off in mainstream gaming right now. But at some point, this character might come out and actually do some very cool things. So that's a very cool one for you guys to look at. And I think the best hand trap out there, the most ironic one, is a trap that's a hand trap. And I think you guys all know Infinite Impermanence, and if you don't, check this out. This gets real good real quick. Target a face-up monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then, if this card was set before activation and is on the field at resolution, for the remainder of this turn, all other spell traps in its column are negated. If you control no cards, however, you may activate this card from your hand. So it's like a turn 0 hand trap. Very similar to what we could do with like Psy-Frame Gamma, although we will end up banishing Gamma and Driver in that instance, whereas Impermanence is just like having a Hail Mary effect veiler in our hand that's also a trap. And when it's talking about the columns, it's saying like, okay, so I set it here, there's my monster zone, my opponent's monster zone, and then their spell trap zone. That card is sealed if there is one, and if it's a continuous that's already face up, it just loses its effects for the turn. So that's very cool. Another hand trap that's, I think, really awesome, let me just kind of spread those out for you guys, is the Skullmeister. And it's because I want to start talking about how to counter these guys, and he's one of the cooler ways to counter hand traps because he's a hand trap that chases down other hand traps. So let's get that to focus real quick. When a card effect is activated in the opponent's graveyard, which is where the hand traps generally activate when they say discard then, or send this to the graveyard then. So the only guy on this table that he doesn't actually go after is going to be Gamma and Nibiru. Those are the only two that will survive Skullmeister right now. But when a card effect is activated in the opponent's graveyard, quick effect, send this from your hand to the graveyard and negate that effect. So again, Skullmeister is a hand trap that will chase down hand traps. So this is very cool. and very important, honestly, because again, this is like a common that was in a structure deck. And if you're like me and you collect structure decks, this is a great way for you guys to start obtaining some cool cards that have some great effects. The next two were also attainable through structure decks. The first one is Called by the Grave. Now, this card went from 3 to 1. I want to say it was like 5 seasons ago now. And for good reason, because again, this was pretty, it was getting to be more common. And again, once a card that's very relevant becomes super common and doesn't drop off in gameplay, Konami will take some measure against it. And again, they love their hand traps. It's like they hate the regular traps anymore. But Call by the Grave says, to target a monster in the opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects of monsters on the field with the same original name. So, in this instance, we have a card like Ash Blossom being activated. Because, whatever, Psyframe Driver is trying to be special summoned by Gamma, so Ash Blossom gets played, gets sent to the discard pile, so you respond with your Called by the Grave. And the reason being here is Ash is already going to be in the discard, so you're going to be able to target it. And through stack resolution of last in, first out, not only do we get to remove that, we stop the Ash's effect here, which will allow the Gamma to play out your Psyframe Driver. So again, it's very techy, and again, you just can't... You don't want a lot of cards like this in the game, because with these in there, it's just you love combo decks then. And you want to stop combo decks from really working as well as they could. And again, we're going to see this, I think, with the new Mega Tin. And the card is something Designator of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator. And it's going to be a quick play as well. And what it's going to do is it's going to basically counter the hand traps, but it's even going to be able to counter Nibiru. And I want to say that the way the effect works is you activate it, you banish a card from your deck, and then you stop the effect of a same card. So your opponent goes to activate Nibiru, I activate, I send my Nibiru to banish, and then all Nibirus are taken care of, whatever. I'm probably super wrong, and I'll cover that when I pull 1 out of a 10. And then the last card I've got today is my favorite way to counter hand traps, honestly. And it's just a great card in general, is Solemn Strike. And again, if you guys picked up the Machina structure deck, it was in there. I've seen this reprinted a bunch of times. I like the Dual Devastators because I just like ultra rare for some reason. And again, this effect, when a monster or monsters would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated. And again, it doesn't say where that monster's effect is. We can go ahead, pay 1,500 points, negate the summon or the activation, and destroy the card. So, again, if they do perform a pendulum summon, since it says summon of monsters, we can go ahead, we could take out all of the monsters that are being pendulumed all at one shot. In 1,500 life points seems to be, a very cheap way of doing this. Additionally, we want to play through that Ash Blossom. All we got to do is flip this up and take out Ash Blossom's effect. So I don't know too much more of how I would phrase this. This was cool. I was able to give like a small little history lesson with the Kuribo. I do hope that this helps at least one player out there. And if it does, this is a total success of a video. I really hope that I didn't bore everybody else too much. But it is what it is, guys. If this did help out, and if you do like content like this and you'd like to support the channel, and you haven't already done it, do consider subscribing to the channel and let your friends know about us. It's the best way for us to grow. And then the most important thing I can ask you guys is, please, have a great day, or try to have a great day. Go out, do something you enjoy. Get your favorite drink today, okay? Go get your favorite drink and watch some more YouTube videos on whatever subject it is that you guys want to learn about or watch today, okay? I'll see you guys on the next video, and peace.